Hello guys, I'm so excited to be making a video after a while, and you might be questioning, how is my December so far? Well, I gotta say, I've had a pretty nice year. I'm so thankful for the views and stuff, I really mean it. So, yeah, and before we begin with this video, I just want to mention I'm going to bring out some stuff about the JJS community, for example, the running and stuff, and also main battleground stuff, people just texting spammers or toxicity, stuff like that. So yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. If this is not the video that you were looking for about JJS mains, then maybe I'll make a video about it. But for now, I'm making a video on this. So if you want to leave, this is your chance. But yeah, anyways, if you want to stay, then I'll go ahead and begin. The JJS average player list. Sorry for the weird $4 budget intro. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue with whatever I was talking about. So, we're going to begin with a list, basically a tier. Think of it as an iceberg, basically. We'll begin with the top, with the simple and normal stuff like being passive or choosing mains or being noob, to all the way to god level threats like toxicity and even more like exploiting. So let's go down the rabbit hole, shall we? The first one is noobs. Now, noobs are usually new to the game, they just got it, they just saw the game, and they said, why not, I'll go and play it. So yeah, usually they'll play as Gojo, because it's the first character to play as. And they'll usually fight the dummy to learn basic combos and stuff like that. They're mostly harmless half the time, of course, unless they get ultimates. So watch out for that. Most and all of the time, they usually play as Gojo, but they also play as other characters. And if you're a noob, my best suggestion would probably be rather Yuji, Restless Gambler, or Yuki, aka Star Rage. So yeah, if you're a new person and you're watching this video right now, those are my top mains to go with if you're a noob, because they're really easy to do combos with. Other than that, that's mostly it for the noob. Now let's go with the Yuji mains. Now personally, there's nothing wrong with Yuji mains. They're just I like Yuji mains. I'm a Yuji main myself sometimes. Sometimes they can kind of be too overpowering. They literally break through every single nerf, every single thing, and they're just built different. They're like bots 24/7. And I don't mean to say as a rude thing. I'm saying that as they use Black Flash too much times. I don't even know how to do the back shot Black Flash. If you know what I mean, obviously you go behind them and you land 4 Black Flashes. It's just too OP. Other than that, there's nothing really wrong with Yuji mains. They're just crazy sometimes, because they can do so much damage, but at the same time they can be so bad at the game. And they get through every single nerf. But yeah, that's mostly it for the Yuji mains. Shout out to all my Yuji mains. Now that we've crossed out Yuji mains, now let's get over passive players. Now passive players, there is seriously nothing wrong with passive players. If you're passive, it's okay, I'll fight you either way, but it's still pretty annoying in my opinion. Now the only reason why you'd be passive is if you're playing these 3 characters. Choso, because of the blood orbs, of course. Megumi, because of his 10 shadows. And of course Noya, because he has the most lowest HP in the verse. If you play as these characters, then you kind of deserve to play passive, because first of all, if you're playing as Choso, obviously you don't want your blood orbs to be destroyed. If your blood orbs be destroyed when you use Supernova, you're basically cooked. And that's your main gimmick. That's how you start combos. That's how you do so much damage. Speaking of damage, Megumi and 10 Shadow players can't even do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate 10 Shadows players as well, but if you play as them, it's like a living hell. They got cool mechanics, but at the same time, they're living in the worst situation, because half of their moves are blockable. Now, Noya, there's nothing I really gotta say about Noya. He's too OP, the nerf is kind of fair, but I'd still play passive as him. Now that we've crossed out passive players off from the list, let's go ahead and go along to the deeper side of the crust of the deep and massive rabbit hole, or an iceberg, whatever you want to call it. Now, this part is mid, because, of course, it's medium. There's going to be some huge differences from the stuff that I've said already. Like, for example, like, the next one, which is Springtrap players. Now, the reason why I call them Springtrap players is because of the infamous line, "I always come back." Now, the reason why I say this is because usually and sometimes JJS players, when they say GG and stuff and they kill somebody, of course they're going to come back because, they want a rematch. But sometimes they just come back again and again and again and again until the guy leaves the game. Like, I don't mean to be rude, but like, why? Just why are you doing this? Why do you keep on targeting them? And there's another way for saying this targeting, like I just said right now, but I just like to call it spring trapping for some reason. I don't know, it just reminds me of FNAF. Speaking of which, has any of y'all seen the FNAF 2 movie? I haven't watched it yet. Corey Kensington apparently. So yeah. Now that we've officially got rid of players like those, let's go over the people who say spammer. Now, before I show any example of footage, I just want to mention to you, there is no such thing as spamming. Now, you can take a good look and say, oh, well, you can spam your M once. If I was spamming, then it would look like this. Now, obviously, if you saw that, you know that's a no stun footage. There's no such thing as spamming. Now, I'm gonna take this seriously when I say this. If you ever say spammer to me or to anyone, you rather are in a private server with no stun, that's the only excuse, or you're just saying it because they're only using them once. And if you say block spam, you're definitely nuts. Don't need to be rude when I say this, but I think you might have to go to like an asylum or something to get your head fixed in or something like that. Now, next one is definitely going to trigger me, and it's going to trigger mostly everyone because this happened. This must have happened once in your JJS experience. Runners. If you've ever, and I mean ever, been close to this channel, you know I've dealt with runners before. I've dealt with plenty of runners. I've never really shown that much footage of runners except for one video that I'll get into later. The point is, if you have never dealt with a runner, be glad. Be thankful. Because the most insane nutwhack Looney Tunes character I've ever heard. Now, for an example, for anyone who doesn't understand what runners are, basically, if you're at low HP, you just decide to run or something, that's basically just it, you run. You just run away from the enemy. Now, I've run before in my existence, because I was petty and pathetic. I'm not saying this to be cringe or a cornball. I'm just saying this because honestly, I sucked back then when I played Battlegrounds games. But the point was, do not ever, and I mean ever run, only run if you're seriously getting game banged by a bunch of teamers. If you have no friends, nobody to help you or no assistance from the server, then absolutely run. Because at this point, there is no excuse. You have the choice to run now. But if you run for no reason entirely, what is wrong with you? On Saturday of last November, I was banned. Now, you might wonder, why was I banned? You see, I was fighting this runner named Mr. Striker, I think. Well, it was his nickname. When I was fighting him, I killed him. It was just simple, easy like that. But everything changed when he attacked me again. He attacked me, and then when I tried to fight back, he started running. Now, I don't mean to be rude, because this was when the time when Yuta was barely nerfed and he was playing as Yuta, and as you may know, you couldn't really move when you used a Rika, but why? Why are you running? I was playing as Noya at the time, which means I could have easily anti-runned him. He knew that he was screwed fighting me, so why did he choose to? I'm not gonna lie, at the time I was rage baiting myself into a trap, making me say the word that he said, and I got myself reported. He said the word, "You're a monkey." Now, I don't mean to say this for Roblox moderation or anything, but Roblox moderation is the most weirdest thing because it only reports what someone else said, not someone else's. They specifically focus on the person who was reported, not anything else, which is kind of stupid. And I want to mention, there's a bunch of runners that I've heard. There's this one YouTuber named Cam Never Nights Out or something. Basically, he was fighting this runner, right? I don't need to tell really nothing else, just watch the 44-minute video if you want to see it yourself. But this is basically just BS, because they kept on running and running and running, which is not fair, man. And the crazy thing about this is that this person said, "Stop targeting me," when they were targeting someone else with a low player count, which was actually a pro player. Am I crazy? Or am I just actually right? Because something is absolutely wrong with runners, like honestly. I think I might have to make a part 2 of this video because of how much I'm gonna yap about these dudes. If you want to see more videos on runners and stuff like that, make sure to let me know in the comments. Anyways, let's continue with the final iceberg or rabbit hole. The crust, the thin layer, the magma, the huge thing that builds it all together, that makes it the worst part of the game. There's only 2 segments that are important of this. One, toxicity, and the other, exploiting. Yeah, so let's start with toxicity. Now this last segment is going to be really, and I mean really short. So, yeah, just be prepared for that. Alright, so we have the big bad of all, toxic players. Now, toxic players are the most annoying thing ever. They just spam easy or stuff like that. And I don't know why. So, let me just show example footage. Now, if you're dealing with a toxic player, just leave them alone, whatever what they say. Just ignore them, to be honest. Because all they want is attention, really. It's just like a bully. If you leave them alone, then they'll probably leave you alone. Probably. Alright, now next up is exploiters. Now, same thing for like the toxic people. If you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. But definitely report them when you have the chance. Alright, so that's the end of the video. I hope you guys like, subscribe. I probably won't be posting for a while since it's like December. But I will be posting on December the 25th. Like, as soon as it reaches like 12 o'clock, I will post it. So, see you guys.